about like ups and downs.
Yeah.
More so than, the realization that you wanted to stay connected in Costa Rica, and also your family coming to finally accept that you would not be in Cincinnati anymore. Once you got past that, were there any new ups and downs that you had to conquer?
I would say before I got to Costa Rica, some ups and downs that I really had to conquer was realizing that what I was putting in my body was affecting my health, and really trial and error on things that I, that worked well with my body and things that didn't. That was hard because I was a vegan in high school. Then I went into the military, and then I decided not to be a vegan anymore because it was just too hard, because the food is free, but it's not vegan, And then later in my late 20s, I decided again, okay, I'm going to go vegan again. But at that point, I was eating a ton of processed foods. So when I say vegan, I mean plant-based. I don't mean just like something that doesn't have milk or meat, dairy or meat. Or any animal byproducts. I mean, like, you actually need to eat the plants, because when I was a vegan the second time, I was eating more like soy burgers, vegan spaghetti, canned or canned tomato sauce. Just things that had no nutrients in it, like none. And so, of course, that started making me really sick. I mean, eating a lot of processed foods will make you sick too. Even if you cut out all the meat and the cheese, you're still going to be sick because it's chemicals. You're basically eating chemicals. You're not eating tomatoes anymore. You're eating tomatoes mixed with preservatives, mixed with salt, mixed with all kinds of stuff, So I went back to eating meat again. And I was just like, okay, I'm eating meat again. I'm getting some quote unquote nutrients. I was happy about that. And then I started feeling like crap again. I didn't go back to dairy because I never was really too big on dairy. I did like cheese, but it kind of made me sick. I think I'm lactose intolerant. So I went back to eating meat, and I was real creative with it. I was making all kinds of veggie meals and meat meals. And then I was like, I feel like crap again. I mean, it got to a point where it was really affecting my health, really like affecting my health. I was starting to get rheumatoid arthritis, stuff like that. Like my joints were hurting. So then I decided to cut out gluten. I think that was probably a lifesaver. It really helped to not keep my joints so inflamed. But then I was like, no, I still feel like crap. Something else is not. My stomach was always full. It was always bloated and sweaty and just. So I decided to cut the meat out again. And what helped me decide to cut out the meat again was Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was a wonderful man, and he really had a lot of really good ideas about being a vegan. And the one thing I would definitely say I really love about Dr. Sebi is he really woke up the Black community when it comes to veganism. He really woke up the Black community, and that in itself is a blessing, because Black people can cook. Okay, like, and all these vegan dishes that these African Americans or Black people are making. Oh my goodness. And they're putting these recipes out there for free. Oh my goodness. You guys really need to look into Dr. Sebi groups on Facebook. If you want to go vegan and you're really serious, I would say look up Dr. Sebi. He's a great transition. His ideologies and philosophies on eating have been monumental in me moving onto the path that I'm on right now. He really helped me to transition. And all of the people who are involved in creating recipes and are really, social. It's a very social movement, Dr. Sebi's movement, especially in the Black community. So I would say look into that. You can Google it. Dr. Sebi is spelled Dr. Dr. period and then Sebi, Sebi, Dr. Sebi. So yeah, that would be a good transition. But I still was at a crossroads. I'm in the United States. I'm eating healthy. I'm feeling good most of the time, but there's other things in the United States that's just really affecting me. And that was the water. It wasn't real water. It was expensive as heck to buy all the food that I needed, all the healthy organic food that I was eating. It was very expensive. I had to go bail all of my fruits and vegetables out of jail. That was no fun. And then also the chemtrails. It was really affecting me in the sky. So I was like, you know what? And the political climate. You know, the energies that were around me, when I was out in public, the energies that were around me that were coming out through the television, the energies from the radio, everything. It was just negative. It was just a bad feeling. And so I decided, you know, I need to leave. You know, if such and such gets elected as president, I'm leaving. So my first thought was Tanzania, because I really wanted to go to Africa. I really wanted to connect with Africa. But then I came across somebody on YouTube who was talking about not moving to Africa. And they made really good, valid points. Africa is colonized. United States is colonized. Europe is colonized. I want to go to a place that's not colonized. If I go to a place that's colonized, it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. So that's the reason why I chose Costa Rica, because Costa Rica used to be colonized, but then they fought for their independence. And not only did they fight for their independence, they dismantled their army, which means that nobody's going to really be messing with Costa Rica. You know, I mean, if any country came in and tried to mess with Costa Rica, the rest of the world would be like, you're a bully, you know, like it would not be good. Nobody's going to mess with Costa Rica. And they have really strict laws on like importing things in. And with their foods and stuff, their vegetables and their fruits, they really like to take a different approach than like GMO and pesticides. They do use pesticides, but most of their stuff is organic. They are 100% renewable energy here in Costa Rica. So yeah, that's the reason why I chose Costa Rica. I don't actually remember the question, but
no, you touched on some great things. I'm so glad that you also mentioned Dr. Sebi, as well as your diet and your transition and what you went through, because I know a lot of people who are listening to the show are going to naturally be fitness fans, health foodie fans. And to hear your example is going to be very helpful for a lot of people. And I'm glad you mentioned Dr. Sebi and spelled out his name, because that gives some people a good place to start and something that they can advance towards. Other than your diet, though, I know that you're really big on nature. So for those of us who are here in the U.S., you gave us some great pointers on how to get our diet in check. But how can we connect better with nature while residing in the United States?
Yes. So every city that I've ever lived in, which is a bunch, I always find like the big parks, you know, like there's there's Prospect Park in Brooklyn. There's Eden Park in Cincinnati. It's just like that big park, you know. That's in every big city, you know. Go to the park. It doesn't have to be a big park, but go to a park with grass and trees. If you go there and you hear crickets and birds, that's a good park. You know what I mean? Like if you hear bugs and stuff, you know, birds flying around and, you know, there's a good wind coming in, there has to be grass. You want to go to a place where there's grass and big trees, not little trees, big trees, you know, plants. In that park, go to that park, bring like a sarong. What is it called? You know, the thing you wrap around you when you go to the beach.
Yes.
Bring one of those with you, or like a blanket or a sheet or something. Bring that with you. Put it on the grass. Sit on the grass. Go sit next to a tree in the grass. Lay down on the grass. You know, look up at the sky. Look at the blue sky. Be quiet. Don't say anything. Don't get on your phone. Put your phone away. Put your feet, like while you're laying on the ground, put your feet up on the tree stump, the tree. Put it up on it. Put your bare feet in the grass. The reason why I'm saying this is because as human beings, we have a natural connection to the planet. The soil, the grass, the earth, it is a cell. It is a living organism. And we are living on it. You know, this is kind of a really gross example, but you know how little kids get lice?
Yes.
That little kid is a cell. It's a cell within itself. It's a cell, right? It's powered by its heart. It's a cell. And now they have some other little beings living on its head. That's basically how we are. We live on this planet. And right now we're kind of like the lice in those little kids' head to this planet. We are a menace. And the only way we are going to stop being a menace to this planet is if we start connecting back with nature. And the first way to connect back with nature is literally connecting your body to nature. The bottoms of your feet and the palms of your hands are light for a reason. They don't have melanin on them for a reason. It's because you need to be able to allow energy to flow through them. So when you connect in the park to the grass and the trees and the plants, you need to take your shoes off and you need to connect those white parts of your hands and your feet to the grass, the soil, and the trees. Once you're laying there and you're looking up at the tree, at the sky, you're looking around, close your eyes. Start to listen. Feel the energy from the ground. There's energy there. Feel it. Connect with it. I know it's nothing hard. There's nothing hard about connecting back with nature. Appreciate the plants around you. Tell them you appreciate them. They can hear you. They can totally hear you. Plants know that you're there. You actually are a plant. Human beings are plants. We are plants that can get up and move around. We create fructose within our bodies. We have hair growing out of our head. That's like the grass, It's connected to our nervous system. All the hair all over your body, that's like grass and plants and trees. This is something that human beings really need to wake up to if we want to change things and if we want to create a better world, if we want to not be a menace to this planet, if we want to be happy.
Yes, speaking of being happy, your music and your voice certainly makes me happy. I want to speak about some of your projects, your music. Let us know how we can support you during this journey, and just tell us about all of the great things that you have going on.
So I moved to Costa Rica to be a light worker. And a light worker is just somebody who lives their life as harmonious as they can with nature. And they take all of their signals from nature, right? Because I connect with nature, because I don't eat meat anymore, because I don't eat dairy and I eat mostly fruits, some vegetables, but mostly fruits, I am gaining information from the planet. And in doing that, I attract beings into my world that need guidance. And the way that I love to guide them the most is through my music. So when I write songs, I write them to inspire people to A, get to know themselves, B, connect with nature, and C, make the world a better place. I really want to be the change I see in the world. And so that's the reason why, I moved to Costa Rica. That's the reason why I write music. And that's the reason why I live the kind of lifestyle that I live. I love to cook. When people come over, I love to cook for them. I love that camaraderie. I love that community. I love that relationship that you build with people when you cook for them. And when you cook wholesome, healthy foods for them, plant-based foods for them. And with that, with moving here, it can be, a struggle sometimes, just kind of making things all flow together. But that's where manifesting comes in. And manifesting is really just creating your reality. It's really just sitting down and meditating and seeing what you want your future to be, what you want your now to be, because there's really no such thing as a future. There's only now. But what you want your now to be. And by sitting there and heavily thinking on what you want your now to be, you are literally attracting that to your world. And so I say that because I really want to be able to help other people get to Costa Rica. But I can't do it by myself. So if you are listening to this and you feel like in your heart, you could